Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. I don't really remember what happened last time except... Oh yeah, okay, so Amane apparently has like 3 journals. She has a journal talking about Machina, because apparently that's like her daughter. She has a journal talking about Yuuji, pretty much just his diet for some reason. And the third one is apparently her sex diary, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but at this point it's really stupid for me to question anything, yet I still do. So we got a little bit of a flashback, which was I guess their sexy times for that day, and things went astray when she apparently fainted after round 2, which is unfortunate, but whatever. So that was last episode. And also I just want to bring up that this little experiment that I've been trying to do for the past few days, not just with this but overall on my channel, for quality on my videos, I'm gonna have to put that to a stop with this playthrough because OBS Studio doesn't record this very well apparently, and you may have noticed it. Some of the scenes looked very bad, especially transitions with dark colors. It looked kind of buggy and glitchy. So I'm just not going to use OBS Studio to record this, and I'm also not going to render this out in 1080p anymore. It just does not work. For some reason, this game in particular, or maybe altogether, just doesn't work. So I'm going to go back to what I was doing before, just record with DxTory and render it out in 720, upload it in 720. There's no problems. It's worked for more than 200 episodes. We'll keep it at that. So let's jump back in here. But other stuff that I do in the future, like new visual novels and stuff like that, wink wink, I'll try to use OBS Studio or DxTory or something. I'll try to have 1080p quality for that. I want to try and transition into it eventually, but I don't know if it'll work. We'll have to wait and see. So let's get into this, guys. I guess we're in the middle of some context here because I kind of ran out of time last time, but whatever. But here we go. Anyway, Machina, having an objective is a laudable thing. Sure. Devote yourself to your baking this summer, then fly off to Leyte or Luzon, or however you're supposed to pronounce those, as your whims direct you. Also in the last episode, I pointed out that even so we're on a completely different route, it seems like everything else is moving forward. Just like in Machina's route, she's wanting to learn to bake bread. She's also wanting to get a job, or Yuuji suggested that she gets a job at a bakery, which is pretty much the same shit that happened in her route. So I guess regardless of whatever route you go in, there's going to be things that happen. Time's going to move forward altogether, I think. And so, with Machina's borderline nonsensical explosion of enthusiasm, our summer vacation began. Wow, we were pretty much at the end of that, and I just had no idea. Having a goal in life is a truly admirable thing, just as I pompously informed Machina. But it's not like I've got any well-defined objective on my own. It's been that way for a long time. I float through my days without any clear direction, staying alive for lack of a better alternative. Every once in a while, someone remembers I exist and shoves a job on me. I thought I came to this school in order to change that aimless way of life. Not that I had any idea what sort of a change I wanted. I didn't come in with any overblown expectations, just a vague anticipation of something new. But as it turned out, what changed wasn't so much my purposelessness routine. It was the way I viewed the scenery floating past. In other words, my way of thinking itself has changed. Never saw that one coming. Man, I was waiting for a moment when others were speaking so I can take a drink of water. My throat is really dry. Sushi on rice with clam chowder? The menu's never exactly coherent, but you're taking things to a whole new level of weird.
ごめんね。両方ともマキナのリクエストなのよ。でもちゃんと栄養価は計算してあるから。よっ
しゃ、もりもり食おうぜ。
A combination, I almost said combination, what the fuck, of a very Japanese seafood dish and a very Western soup. It's the culinary equivalent of wearing a kimono, the fuck am I even saying anymore, with combat boots. But mysteriously, when I actually give it a try, the tastes don't particularly clash. Most likely, Amane's diligent efforts weren't directed solely toward the nutritional front. I'm sure she just adjusted the flavor of the two dishes to complement each other. The sushi's lightly seasoned with shiitake, mushrooms, and other vegetables, all boiled to a pleasant firmness. The chowder's just salty enough. Its scent reminiscent of the sea. A surprising combo, yes, but the taste is soothing.
おめえな。やっぱアマネは料理むちゃくちゃ上手な。
Indeed it is. Her mother must have raised her well. Marry a woman like this and you'll never come to regret it. Makina, my friend, I encourage you to learn from her example.
大げさだな。
でもアマネはどうしても煮物が多くなるのよさ。
Hardly anything to complain about. Gives you that home cooking feel, right? It's like something a mother would make. For me, maternal cooking is associated with memories of canned food, but Amane's meals always make me think of the idealized perfect mother I pictured as a child. Her food's comforting somehow. If you have the money to spend, you can get as much exotic gourmet food as you want. But a meal that conveys this sort of simple, earnest warmth is far harder to come by.
芋がらとかふきとかひじきの煮物とか、なんかお母さんというよりはおばあちゃんの味なのよ。そりゃね、毎日病院で食ってたべっちゃべちゃで味のしないご飯よりは全然おいしいし、感謝もしてるのよ。
She's even bringing up the hospital. Did she do that in the common route?
でも若い子は脂っこくって味の濃いものが食べたいものなのよさ。
Maybe there's things that you miss in every route because they bring up something that you don't learn about until you do their route.
そんなこと言って、あんた私に隠れて結構食べてるじゃないのよ。この間もリップグロス塗ったみたいに口の周りテッカテカにして帰ってきて、何食べたのよ。
コンビニでフライドチキンを少々。
もう食べるなとは言わないから、食べたらちゃんと言いなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。
分かってるのよ。
それとあんたはもう少しゆっくり食べなさいよ。ちゃんと噛んでる？
おお、口うるさい母親モードに突入して風向きが怪しくなってきたのよさ。
What's that sound? That grating pattern of electronic beep seems to be emerging from the egg-shaped digital pet dangling at Makina's waist. There's so much shit coming from her route right now. It's kind of ridiculous.
おっと、こいつはいけねえ。もうこんな時間なのよさ。私この後パン屋さんのアルバイトの面接があるから。そんじゃごちそうさま。
あ、こら、ちょっとマキナ。
ごめん、あまね。お小言の続きは帰ってから聞くから。ほんじゃ行ってきまーす。
もう仕方がないな。
Well, she did finish everything on her plate before she ran off. No big deal.
それにしてもあの子がパン屋さんでアルバイトか。心配だな。
This is major deja vu. I understand how you feel, but the girl's jumping into something on her own initiative. That's a good thing, don't you think? All you have to do is take a step back and watch over her affectionately.
それは分かってるんだけどね。私心配しすぎかな。
Makina being the way she is, it'd be stranger if you weren't at least a little concerned. But unless you show some faith at times, it'll undercut her self-esteem and give her an excuse not to try.
そうだね。
It'll be alright. Makina is much more clever than she looks. She'll do well. What's so funny?
なんか私たち父親と母親みたいだよね。
Oh, it seems like that in Makina's route. You might be right.
なんかさ、こうして何でもない毎日を普通に過ごせるのって幸せだよね。
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong about that. Normal. Right. Normality. I hadn't been looking for some dramatic change from the start. I wanted to find my way to exactly this sort of peaceful, commonplace existence. But the ability to appreciate such things is mostly reserved for the elderly. The exception would be those who've been made to realize the value of a normal existence early on, by exposure to something worse. Amane, are you... No, it's nothing.
なーに変なユージ
That's me, silly Yuuji. Come to think of it, the word normal is about as vague as it gets. Normal, typical, average, these are relative points of reference, entirely dependent on your environment. You don't have to kill anyone, no one tries to kill you. No one screams in your ear in the middle of the night. You won't see a corpse rotting inside a train carriage. A moment of pleasure doesn't drag you down into self-loathing and guilt. A moment of misery doesn't lead you to curl up into a ball and weep for forgiveness. Is that what most of us mean when we say the word normal? The absence of such things? Probably so. But there are people who've lived with such abnormalities as their normal. Living normally is far more difficult than it sounds. It's only possible when you've found yourself a suitable environment, someone, someplace, something that enables you to live in peace. I probably came to this school in an attempt to find what I was missing. And now that I think about it, the thing I needed was that curry. Oh great, we're in the bath again. I can only imagine what's about to pop up here. Might well have been a woman like you, Amane. Oh, of course.
なーになんか言った
Nothing much, just admiring your knockers. Impressive as always.
だろう触っとく
Oh, I'm good, but thanks for the offer. I'll save that for later. For the moment, I'm going to wash my hair. Wow, this is an interesting conversation they're having.
そうそんじゃ私が洗ってあげる
Alright then, if you would.
オッケ
God damn it, there's still nipples showing. By now, I've gotten pretty accustomed to Amane's relentless attempts to take care of my every need, as if I were some helpless invalid. She must have grown up watching her mother devotedly serve her father, eventually internalizing the idea that waiting on men hand and foot was a woman's normal role. That was my original guess at least. But when I actually asked her, it seems the truth was quite the opposite. If anything, her father was a busybody of the family. I got my looks from Ma and my personality from Dad.
ーはーいお湯かけるよ
Right. Amane's family on her mother's side runs a well-established restaurant in Kyoto. Her father had been a cook there. After marrying the owner's eldest daughter, he set up his own branch in Tokyo. Probably because of that history, his attitude toward Amane's mother was always deferential. Even servile? Whatever. Apparently, every once in a while, he'd slip up and call her Miss in his own home. When I hear Amane describe the man, he really does sound a lot like her, a pushy busybody with a fundamental timid streak.
よーしついでだから背中も流しちゃおうね
Dude, I've never had anyone wash my back. I mean, that shit's hard to do, like, myself. But I wonder what it would be like for someone to wash my back. Or to wash someone else's back. I'm sure that'd be fun, too. Yeah. Don't mash your tits against me, woman.
ああごめんわざと
She's not even trying to hide it. But who did she get this total lack of shame from? Amane herself tells me she inherited it from her grandmother. Seems the old woman had quite the rack herself back in the day, and taught Amane that breasts are weapons to be used aggressively in conquering men. While I'd like to have a frank exchange of opinions with that grandmother of hers, Amane's stories of home always leave me with the impression of a loving, happy family. As someone who is nothing of the kind, I'm envious. Sometimes it's hard to listen to her without feeling a twinge of bitterness. But even when I know it's showing on my face, Amane keeps right on going without a hint of concern. And she always concludes her stories with the same phrase. If you marry me, they'll be your family too, you know. Yeah. Not an impossible scenario. I've already begun to consider the possibility of starting a family with Amane. They've been together for like a week or two. What the fuck? And more importantly, the girl seems to be quite willing to move things in that direction, even eager. She was a virgin not that long ago, like a week ago, but lately she's been demanding physical contact to a degree that seems downright abnormal. Anal sex, titty fucking, and beyond. Whenever some new idea occurs to her, she immediately puts it to the test. After summer vacation started, on more than one occasion, we literally spent an entire day having sex. On that note, a few days ago, Michiru stopped by my room, but the instant she set foot inside, she jerked her head back and wrinkled her brow. I've often heard it said that people who spend too much time in a room become completely unable to recognize what it smells like, and apparently it's true. Michiru screwed up her face into a grimace at the thick, lingering stench of our various bodily fluids, hissed, "What the heck have you people been doing in here?" and stormed off. That was a bit over the top, any way you look at it.
Nani?
I like it when Yuji's thoughts kind of just like spiel out into like actual like words. It's like the last thought he has to be said out loud. Our sex marathon. Even for me, 12 times in a single day was a first. Holy shit. That's impossible. I've said this in the Labyrinth of Grisaia. I'm not going to say exactly what it was for, but that's impossible.
全部絞り出してやるって言って、最後は本当に一滴も出なくなったもんね。
It's impossible, dude. No matter how many condoms we buy, there's never enough.
買いに行くのもちょっと恥ずかしいしね。この前ドラッグストアのレジのおばちゃんに、あらまたなのって呆れられたわよ。
Well, yeah. To which you naturally responded jealous, huh?
さすがにそれは言えないよ。っていうかさ、男の人って射精しすぎると最後に赤い玉が出るって言うよね。本当なのかな？
I hope that's just an urban legend. I hope so. Can't say, never tried.
もうずいぶんやってるけど出ないよね。どれぐらいで出るんだろう。
If a red one pops out at the end, wouldn't you get a yellow one first?
なんだろう。掃除機のコードみたいな感じ？
Right, seems logical. What's with you?
いや、なんかさ、バカな会話だなって思って。
Yes. All men look like idiots to a sensible woman. Better get used to it.
ねえ、ユージ。もし子供ができたらどうする？
I'm running away. I'm out of here. Have a baby as far as I'm concerned. I've got the savings to support a kid or two as long as we're reasonably frugal.
へえ、意外。将来考えて貯金なんてしてるんだ。
Hell yeah, boy. No, I just haven't really had anything to spend my money on.
ねえ、子供は男の子と女の子、どっちが欲しい？
Neither. A girl, I'd say.
なんで？
I like the idea of playing with my daughter in the bathtub.
膜引っ張って遊ぶ気なんだ。そういう病気なの？
Yeah, I don't understand Yuji's reasoning for this. Okay, woman, you've crossed a line here.
いったー！脇腹の肉引っ張んないでよー。
Amane, have you lost a little weight?
そう？なんだろう。ここ最近ずっと腰振ってたし、そのせいかな。
I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with it. Come to think of it, our summer vacation so far, or has so far consisted of shutting ourselves up in the room and fucking vigorously around the clock.
まあね。痩せるのは嬉しいけど、たまにはさ、 彼女をどっかに連れてってなんか美味しいものでも食べさせようとか思わない？
Hell yeah, I'm down for going out and getting some tasty food. Hadn't even considered the idea.
ちょっと
Alright then, I'll give it some thought. What are we talking about here? An amusement park? Something of that sort?
それいいかも。こうさ、シート広げてお弁当とか食べるような場所がいいな。
Let's see, the zoo sounds most appropriate in that case.
それいい。行こう行こう。マキナも連れてさ。
It wouldn't exactly be a date if we did. Just us, alright?
いいのかな。マキナ拗ねたりしない？
Probably. Well, if we ask her straight out to let us have a date to ourselves, I doubt she'll throw much of a fuss. Don't worry, I'll handle that.
やったー。すっごい楽しみ。ね、いつにする？
Good question. Well, any day's fine by me, I guess.
じゃあさ、明日は明日にしようよ。
Pretty sudden, don't you think?
ダメ？
Well, alright.
やったー。約束だよ。私、お風呂出たらお弁当の下準備しなきゃ。
Hate to distract you from your enthusiasm, but how long do you plan on leaving me covered in bubbles?
ごめん。今流すから。はい、目閉じて。
If it was going to make her this happy, I wish I'd come up with the idea earlier. It was a carefree thought, a product of the relaxed life I'd been enjoying of late. I guess I'd just forgotten. However, my perspective on the world might change. A truly normal life requires something like freedom. So we're at the 30th. I haven't been paying attention to the date. And on the day of our date, I'd come to regret my careless optimism. That morning, Amane was in an excellent mood, humming happily to herself as she packed food into our lunchbox.
やっぱ遠足のお弁当といえばおにぎりに唐揚げよね。
Sure, kid.
タコさんウインナーにポテトサラダにコールスロー。余った隙間にいかがわしいほどに真っ赤なナポリタンをちょっと入れて、そしてデザートはうさぎりんご。はあ、やっべえ、これって完璧じゃない？
You're pretty damn energetic first thing in the morning.
そうかな。でもほら、だって私男の子と動物園行くのなんて初めてだし、なんか上がるわ。
Amane, let me ask you something. You do understand that a zoo is just a place where you can look at some animals in cages, right? If she was some devoted wildlife maniac, it'd be one thing. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think many people at our age get quite this excited by the prospect of visiting a zoo.
わかっちゃいないね、ユージくん。動物園は目的じゃなくてきっかけなんだよ。彼氏とお出かけする理由でしかないの。わかる？
Well, I can understand what you're trying to say, I guess.
ぶっちゃけ女の子はデートなんてどこだっていいんだよ。どこへ行くかじゃなくて誰と行くかが重要なんだからさ。
That a fact?
彼氏と2人ではしゃぎ回って疲れた私は帰りの電車で思わず居眠り。隣に座ったユージの肩にコテッと頭を乗せて寝ちゃうの。どう？漫画みたいじゃない？
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't read corny romance manga. You're planning this out in advance?
肩に乗った私の頭からは甘いシャンプーの香り。ドッキリとして思わず目を向ければちらりと覗く豊満な胸元が目に飛び込む。ああ、あまねかわいいよ、あまね。
Well, if you're this fired up before we even get there, I guess it's entirely possible you'll be dead tired on the way back.
でもさ、よくマキナが許してくれたね。あの子絶対についていくって言うと思ってたのに。
She may look like she's like 9 years old, but in all honesty, she's becoming a grown-ass woman. Just like everyone else, I believe, is, besides Yuuji, because he's male. Yeah, well, in Makina's words, she's not exactly happy to be left out, but she's not planning on turning into a nuisance of a woman either.
なんかちょっとかわいそうなことしちゃったかな。
It's too early to let down your guard. A few minutes after that conversation, I saw her furtively whispering to Sachi, there's a possibility they're going to try and sneak after us.
だったらもういっそみんなでさ。
Sorry, phone. I have a decidedly bad feeling about this. The vibrations are coming from the work cell phone in my breast pocket. Sure enough, when I take it out, the name Julia is displayed on the LCD screen. Not that I was expecting a wrong number. Shit. I knew it was coming, but those words inspire a wave of disgust and bitter regret. When JB gives me orders over this black telephone, I simply can't disobey. What's the situation? Affirmative. Why now of all times? And it's a Type A hard option, a top priority mission that absolutely requires my presence. No matter what my circumstances, I can't decline or delegate this to a stand-in. Amane, sorry, but...
お仕事かな?
Yeah, that's right.
すぐに出るの?
They'll be coming to pick me up in 10 minutes.
そっか。じゃあ仕方がないよね。
Huh. She's weirdly okay with this. Sorry, I'll make this up to you no matter what, so...
うん、そうして必ず帰ってきて必ず埋め合わせするのよ。
You got it, dog. Understood.
ほら、そんな顔しないの。早く行きなさい。
Yeah, we gotta get going, boy. I'll be back as soon as I can.
あ、ちょっと待って、ユージ。
Hmm? What?
これ、お弁当。せっかくだから持って行ってよ。お昼食べるくらいの余裕はあるんでしょ?
Alright, I'll take it. Thank you, Amane.
頑張って。
That I will. Amane is a reasonable woman at times like these. Exceptionally so. Strangely, that makes me feel all the more guilty. I don't think she has any real idea what sort of job I'm heading out to do right now. Which means she must have a million questions she wants to ask me. And twice as many complaints she wants to throw at me. But Amane doesn't ask me anything. She doesn't voice any of those thoughts. Knowing that fills me with a helpless sense of remorse. I have no idea who you are or what you're trying to pull, but congratulations, you've officially pissed me off. Better brace yourself, asshole. I'm gonna make this one hurt. I'll teach you to cancel my date. I'll finish this one in one shot, eat my lunch, and be back home in no time. Just try and stop me, you piece of shit. Damn, dude. Alright, well, we're not exactly... Thank you for talking very slowly, but we're not exactly at 30 minutes, but we're pretty damn close, and I don't want to end it in the middle of context. So, we're on Yuji's past, Amane's past. Can't wait to record next time, I'll be honest. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and subscribe for more. But, yeah, until then, I'll see you guys.